Grant. Just gonna let people keep coming in for a couple of minutes and then we'll get things started. Was a recording of Wednesday's calls. I just don't know if it's been posted yet. Yeah. Just let some more people come in. I also just realized that on the Circle dashboard, it only shows our calls on Monday and Wednesday. So we'll have to make sure that Fridays get put in there so that you know it's happening. I'll give people till like 12:05, then we'll get started.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you? I was just saying that our Friday calls aren't on the list of calls.
Maybe these are our action taker calls.
Yeah.
Hi guys, how are you? Grant, thanks for, I named my daughter after the Northern Lights. I thought it was appropriate too. Let me get my background.
I was just giving sort of to like 12:05.
We can get started there. If it's not on there, that's on them. They can watch the replay.
Okay.
Anyways, how's everything going? Do you want to set the intention for the day, Jen?
Yeah. So our intention here is to help people understand how to get their first deal and hopefully change their financial future. So last time we did a Q&A and we also just wanted to talk about, there were some questions about Gator and just letting people know that those questions really need to be addressed in like a Gator Q&A and that we're here to help newbies. Specifically, we're doing direct to agent, and that if you have questions outside of that, we're really just trying to focus on that right now. There's also been a lot of leads submitted that people want to keep the deal, and that's great. But for those of you who are just starting, you do need to understand that that comes with a monetary value. Like you have to have cash in order to keep a deal. Even if it's 0% seller finance, you're still going to have closing costs, wholesale fees, all that sort of stuff. So we're of course happy to help, but I think a lot of people haven't had enough experience in order to understand that there's a lot more fees on, like if you get a 0% seller finance, there's still costs associated with all of that. And then lastly, when you're submitting leads, you have to have talked to the agent or seller first. There are too many leads coming in where people are just kind of copying and pasting the description in the listing that someone may be open to seller finance, but they've had no conversations with that agent in order to sort of determine those 4 pillars, right? Like we want price, we want motivation, timeline, condition. So if you have not had that conversation and don't know those 4 pillars, please don't submit the lead, because I'm sending emails out to get more information. And the first question I ask is just that. And when you respond no, it's just sort of wasting both of ours times. Like you as
Also,
a bidder
go
as well. Yeah, sorry. No, go ahead.
that's a really good point. And also, so you'll have to talk to them and you also have to soft pitch creative. So I saw a few in there. It's like, they've already said no to 2 other sub-2 deals. But then I explained it to him. Okay, well, what did you explain to them that, because I was like to keep their VA loan, and don't promise people that they're going to be able to keep their VA loan. I think or they're like, no, they're not ready. Or she said no, but I want you guys to follow up. If they're a no, you guys follow up until they're a yes. And that's where we help you guys get pitch terms and get that ready to go. So I love the action taking though. You guys are doing great. We submitted 2 LOIs.
Yeah.
So, and you guys can make money from this. But I think that's our biggest thing. So give all of the information. You have to talk to the seller. Give us information like we're 5. Like we need more information, and we're asking why every 2 seconds. Like they said no to sub-2. Why? They said this. Why? Like we need, because then it helps us fast track your lead, because then we have to go contact you and be like, well, she said no to absolutely not to sub-2. So why are we thinking this? Or no, they want to keep their VA loan. So we can try, but we don't also want to promise things that we can't deliver on. So we always want to go with a grain, like there is a chance that you may not use your VA entitlement if we do it this way, and seek out that motivation. They're probably not motivated enough if they're just like, nope, I just want to sell it and I want my VA entitlement back. So
yeah, we want to set realistic expectations for the sellers too, right?
Yeah. But do you guys all know where to submit leads?
I'll put it.
We go to elephant.aurorainvest.com. Do you guys see the?
Oh, you just muted yourself.
On my grave when I die, it's going to be like, Carly, you're on mute.
I think that's everyone though. I love when people are like hand talking and I'm like, you're on mute. And you don't want to interrupt though, because like some people go straight into it and I'm like,
no one can hear you. No one can hear you. Elephant.aurorainvest.com is where we go. And then I was saying, do you see the theme of all the Aurora stuff? That's like, we're going to change it to ours. Jen and I's, it's just, we're using my business until we get there. Anyways, questions for you guys. I see a lot of new faces here. Yeah, Bimini, my gravestone will say, I cannot do 2 things at once. I have a single file brain. I can't talk, and I have 25 tabs open. I can't focus on those tabs. All right. So I just posted in the group. So there was an event there. People will start getting things. Do you guys have questions? I see a lot of new faces here. Have you guys done the homework? Do you know what the homework is? Okay. Homework. People are starting to come in. So you can see that I posted that thing. Okay. So what we've been doing for the new faces. So this month's Elephant Challenge is agent outreach. So what we have done on our past ones, and I say I'm going to do this every time, we're going to cut this, but like we want to find on market deals, which is agent outreach. So we're going to be talking to realtors. The way you talk to realtors and the way you talk to seller or direct seller are 2 different ways. So we're just focusing on one way. This way is a really easy way to do it because you have the MLS or Redfin or whatever MLS you want to use, Zillow. So we want to find motivation. So what our end goal is we want to get these under contract and then wholesale them. So like Jen said, if you guys are like, I'm so excited, I want to hold this, you can, but you got to have a chunk of money with you because it costs money to buy it, even if you'd be surprised. So, so you want to find something where we can wholesale this to, a large market of people. So, we tell you guys to go to markets that are hot. Where is everybody moving right now? You go to the Census Bureau, you can use your Googler, and say, where are people moving out of? Where are people moving into? So you go to those hot markets and then you be like, okay, we'll pick Dallas, Texas, let's say the big cities in Texas, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and then find Google is your friend. You'll Google what's the median income what's the median home price there. So then you'll go to Zillow or where I like Redfin because that gives you more stuff. And then you'll go to find a motivation. What's some motivation that you guys could suss out on MLS? Is there anything you guys might know? What's a motivation? If they dropped the price, no equity. Yes, time. So I'll show you guys. We'll do a little Google search. I like Redfin. I think you can also download the lists off Redfin. So I'm going to do my location. I want to move. I want a new house. Okay, current location. And then, so you do the location and then, so some of the motivations. So it looks like I've already done this. You can draw. If you want, you can do the whole thing. I don't want to do anything though. I don't want to align. I don't know why it's doing this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's just go all the way over here. Keeps cutting off that one. Okay, so I will like here, and then you go to the filter. So this is how you filter out motivations. Let's see. Would it be, where is days on market? Do you think they're motivated if they have been listing their house for more than 90 days? That's a motivation, right? What's another motivation that you guys can think of that might be, I don't have my chat open. Price drops, long-term time on market. Yep. So that's a good place to start. I like to exclude 55 plus communities because that is going to lower your buyers. So you want to have, it's like, you want to have a wide variety for everybody. So you're only, if you do 55 plus communities, then you can only sell to people that are old. I wonder if you can do by foreclosures is one. Here's a good place to start. And you just start in like the middle, the median. There's so much over here. So you can come here, new construction. That sometimes isn't a very good one, because they start framing it and put it on the market. So that's a high days on market, too. But like, let's look at this one. If you go in here, so this is a good median price range. It's not too high here. And we'll scroll down to, they moved it. Where's the pricing? Okay, the pricing. So they started this, they listed this at 360 and they've dropped it almost $30,000, right?
No, they sold for 360 in 2019. They listed for 640. They've only dropped it, but they dropped it and then went back up.
Yeah.
Listed at 649, went down to 629, and then went back to 649 and down to 639. That's interesting. I haven't seen that before.
That's interesting. So usually you'll see price drop, price drop, price drop, price drop.
Yeah.
Another motivation is if you want to filter them out and you have a bunch is sold, last sold, because they likely have no equity. And when you have no equity, do you guys know what that means? When you have no equity and you need to sell your house, you might have to bring cash to the table to close. So that's a painful point. Can we sort by that? I know you can. Last sold date. I don't think you can. Corey was looking. I don't know how he was looking. Sold. Well, you can go and look at the last sold date. That's another thing, is when you go in there. So that's definite ways for you guys to find motivation. So the steps that we do, and we should write this down, Jen. We keep saying we will, but
I'm doing it as you're talking.
okay, good. So Jen's going to post this right afterwards. So so how to find a market. 1, you go to a market where people are moving to. I used Fargo, North Dakota, and then Grant Gunderson came in. He's like, I'm from Fargo. Like, there's not a lot of people that are there there's not a lot of investors there. There's not a lot of people buying and selling there. So you want to go to like the southern states, Texas. Really good places are red states. This has nothing to do with politics, but they're just more landlord friendly. Blue states, it makes that harder it's just expensive for landlords to do business there. So you find your market, number 1. What was number 2? Help me out in the chat. What was the second one we do? We pick our market. You guys don't remember? You pick your market and then you Google the median home in price. So I'm going to pick Dallas, Texas. I know people are moving there. And I'll do median. That means the average, the median home price right now. Zillow says the typical home value is $311,000. So I'm going to come up here to Redfin. And I'm going to do Dallas, Texas, and then what? What are my things that filter out? You guys let me know in the chat so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself and you guys are listening. Filter out 55. That's a good one. Good job, Grant. Time and price. Yes. Thank you guys. Thanks for making me. So we'll do like $200,000 to what was the median. Let's do to like, I'll do a little bit above 600,000. Everything's so cheap there. I'll do 600,000. I'm in Washington State by Seattle, where so not 6 million. Another thing we talked about is you don't want 1 bath because that's a huge value. Have you ever had a roommate and someone's in the bathroom and you need to use it and then you're screwed? So you got to go to McDonald's and do your business. So I do at least 2 bed, 2 bath, and time on Redfin more than 90 days. So there's some motivation here. Median price. Let's do it. There's a lot. Let's go down to 500,000. And I don't know the areas in Texas, in Dallas. So here's a good place to start. These guys have been on market for a while, so let's just pick up this guy. You want to look at it. So we want to find the 4 pillars. What are the 4 pillars? Do you guys remember? Timeline, motivation, condition, and price. Property type. That's a good one. That's a great question. Property type. I don't discriminate unless there's a lot. Grant, you're on it today. So this is the condition. Looks like it could use a hug. So this is fine. It needs a good wash, but it might be good for a flipper. So the condition is not excellent. No HOA. That's a really good one. HOA is not bad, but it's not awesome. HOA could be bad because do you guys know what HOAs are? Jen, why don't you talk about that since I'm talking a lot?
Yeah, HOA is basically like a community, right? So what does it stand for down there?
Homeowners
Housing
association.
homeowner association. Yeah. So it's an extra fee that you have to pay on top of like a mortgage and all that. So having that extra fee then cuts into your profits and the profits of whoever wants to buy it. Neighborhood government. Yeah, pretty much.
They also tell you what you can and can't do with your property. It's very
Yeah.
much like a blue state. I live in Washington, in Gig Harbor, Washington. And the city is telling me that I can't rent my house out on Airbnb. And if I do, I have to ask them. And it's annoying. So they like to be your keeper. So sometimes they won't allow short-term rentals, which is an exit strategy.
Mhm.
They are stupid. So you want to look at HOA. So that's all good stuff. You can also search out for HOA. Grant made a good comment. Texas specifically is good to keep in mind. It's prime for wraps. So we're keeping this to basic real estate investing, but wraps is an exit strategy. So once we find it, get it under contract, how do we make money off it? Do we wholesale it? Do we keep it? Wrapping it is basically going like, here, I have this nice little deal. I'll be the bank for you. And you sub two pretty much. It is a good, Texas, you're right, is a really good place for wraps. Carla says, yeah, I'm in Tahoe and you need a VHR permit. And those are limited and can be within 500 feet from another. Yeah, that's how it is here too. So between HOAs and blue states where they want to tell you what to do with your house, it's not so this is a good one. Does this have a price drop? So then you guys, this is what your guys' homework is. And then you call the agent and you're like, hey, build rapport with the agent. Good question, Jennifer. What makes Texas good for wraps? I'm still confused on wraps. Wraps is just like, we're keeping it to basics, and wraps is really confusing. You basically say like, I get a sub 2 under contract and I go to somebody that might have a lot of money, but doesn't have a good credit score or can't get qualified for a loan. Maybe they came into the country not the right way, or I don't know, they don't make enough money, but they have like a bunch of people that live with them and they can pay, so that they don't make enough money on paper. So they can't qualify a loan. So you can be like, listen, I got this sub 2 property under contract. I'll seller finance it to you. So you basically, you mark it up. So you pay what you got it under contract for, and then they pay a little bit more to you. Having all cash businesses. It does stand for wraparound mortgage. If you guys want to watch info on wraps, go to my YouTube page and I have a whole like cartoon thing on it. I'll put it in here. Or just but we don't have to go into like that. We're trying to keep this super simple. So then we call the agents. And I love this, Robbie. What are the questions we ask the agents? Yes, Anthony, kind of, but Anthony says, so you wrap it to an unqualified buyer. To the bank, they're unqualified, but to you, you have to qualify them. But yes, correct. Thank you, Grant. There is resources on how to talk to an agent there. We can go through that. Let's look. Whoa, we got 80 people in here already. For those of you that are just joining, welcome. So we're going over how to find a good deal and a motivated seller. And then we have you guys call the agents, you make some conversation, and you kind of be like, so I noticed you look for the pain. I noticed it's been on market for a little bit. I noticed it's not selling. Can you take me through that? So you build rapport and you're like, I might be your buyer. And you kind of soft pitch terms is what we have you guys do. And if they're interested, they're like, well, what are terms? Or I need to know more, or yes, or maybe, but I need to know more. Then you submit it to us and we hold your hand throughout this whole deal. So we'll call the agent with you. You guys are able to make money from this. And that's the homework that we assign each week. And then you guys raise your hands. We call agents and we critique it. We don't say you sucked or anything. We're like, great job. Here's some pointers so we can all learn. Did anybody do the homework here, or is everybody new? Grant did the homework. You got the homework, Grant? Got your hand raised.
So I raised it just before. I have done some of it on some other properties, but I also saw a question about Airbnb. So I figured the one that I'm working on, maybe I could give people like the backstory, because it's kind of been a pain point to this point. So I didn't know if you wanted to go through that. We could talk about like how the conversation's gone and where we left off, or someone else wants to chime in. We totally can do that too.
Give us a backstory, like how you find the deal, what made you think it was a good deal, the conversation, and how you got here and where you are.
Yeah, so I was looking in Nashville. Obviously, Nashville is a hot market right now. And I was looking on Zillow and Redfin. I look at both just from time to time. And I was looking so I was going off of a buy box so that, hopefully in finding something that fits the buy box, it would make it easier to dispo. And then once I found like a property, so the conditions, if you will, on the buy box were seller finance, wanted something that was easily going to be a short-term rental in the $1 to $4 million price range. So went off of that, found, used kind of like how you were doing on Redfin, filtered through properties, and then just kind of started going through ones that were on the market for the longest time to short time. That's kind of how I work through them, and found a listing. It's been on the market for over 300 days. It is a fully furnished 4-bedroom, 4.5-bathroom property, like prime location in Nashville. If anyone's familiar with Nashville and you've heard of the Gulch, which is a neighborhood in Nashville, it's like right in the heart of the city. So prime location. And the property is it's fully furnished. So the owner is selling it with all of the furniture and everything, like appliances, like it looks straight out of like an HGTV magazine. Gorgeous property, pretty new. And when I went through, so I looked it up on PropStream before calling the agent, just to kind of get an idea, because they're selling it fully furnished. So obviously that's reflected in the list price, which is 1.74 million. And so looking it up on PropStream, I discovered that, it doesn't have a mortgage on it. So they likely own it outright, unless maybe, for whatever reason, PropStream just doesn't have that recorded. So when I reached out to the agent, I kind of opened with, hey, like, I see this has been on the market for a while, have you guys had any offers? And then I kind of just shut up and I let her talk for about 15 minutes. And she's like, yeah, we've had about a dozen, some LOIs, some formal offers. There's not any real urgency from the seller. They're an out-of-state investor. She didn't confirm, but it sounded like potentially, which would lead to there not being a mortgage, like they developed this property with the intention of running it as an Airbnb, since they're an out-of-state investor. Seller finance is their preference because they don't want like the capital gains and they're not looking to acquire anymore. So they wouldn't have a need to do a 1031 exchange. And, the reason it's been on the market is because like, there's no urgency for them to like, oh, I have to get rid of this today. Like it's still renting, and they're still using it personally from time to time. It's more about getting the right offer, and one that doesn't make them feel disrespected. And so when she said that, I was like, that's interesting. And I just asked her to like explain what she meant by that. And she said a lot of the offers that they're getting people are only willing to put 5 and 10% down. And the owner just feels like that's a big disrespect with how easy this property is. She's like, it's fully furnished, it's ready to go, the numbers are great. And she's like, we're selling it as an entire package with the LLC. So then I kind of asked her, does it rent out, really well? And she's like, well, I don't have the exact numbers on me, but she was willing to give me the net numbers. And this was all just the first conversation. So we really hit it off. She actually has sent me 2 other seller finance properties in Nashville that she has. So it went great. And then once I submitted the lead with the information that I had, I went back to her, under, Jen's guidance to try and get the expenses. And then that's where the guard kind of came up. And she actually yelled at me and hung up on me yesterday. So this was like the update that I haven't been able to give you guys. So she, from the sounds of it, is not managing the Airbnb. She is simply just the listing agent on the transaction. And so the only reason she had the net numbers was because I think she said there's only been 3 offers where the seller was willing to make a counter offer. And in making that counter offer, they then provided the net numbers to anyone they countered. So we're the first, or I'm the first, to get the net numbers without even making an offer. No one was provided that previously. And then when I asked for the expenses, I think she didn't necessarily knew what I meant. And so she had sent like taxes and the HOA and stuff like that. But because she's not managing, I don't think it doesn't sound like she knows like what their cleaning expenses are, or what their, if they have any like servicing companies come and maybe do a deep clean every so often. She didn't have any of that info. And it sounds like the seller has not provided that to her. And so when she hung up on me yesterday, I just called her back and left a message after about an hour. And I said, hey, so sorry, didn't mean to make you upset. I still want to make sure that that like I want you to win. I want the seller to win. I want it to be a win for everybody. I want you to get paid from this. I restated that again. And then she actually texted me back this morning and she said, yeah, so sorry, didn't mean to blow up. Yesterday was just kind of a crazy day, and I was really confused with what you were asking for because no one has asked us for an expense report. And so then she said, just submit what you're looking for, and you can include that you would like to see financials. I don't have them, and the owner hasn't shared them with anyone else either. And so then I was just explaining to her, I said, anytime, and this is me just kind of like trying to put 2 and 2 together. So my exact response was, totally understand that. I said, anytime in previous transactions that we've done on either side, whether acquiring or selling a short-term rental through the LLC, usually we would like to have or provide the financial statement to show not just net numbers, but an overall picture of operational expenses. Historically, our team will also use this information to form our offer. And so she said, okay, that sort of makes sense. Don't have that. The seller hasn't provided that to anyone thus far, but if you can get an offer together, I'm sure they'd be more than willing to.
Well, we can't make an offer unless we know what the business is. We don't know if we want it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to go into an opportunity trying to sell an LLC without having a non-disclosure agreement. I'm like happy to sign an NDA, but why would I make an offer without seeing those expenses? Because then based on that, like, yeah, it's making 80K gross, but like,
Yeah.
what are all the expenses? If it's only making 20K, no one's going to pay $1.7 million for it. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think she thought by providing, so the numbers that I sent those are net numbers. So according to her, those are like after expenses. And I think that's where she maybe thought it would be enough. I'll pitch like the NDA part and see if maybe that gets us anywhere. But it is, she said that everything is coming with the LLC, any future bookings, all of that. And I saw in the chat 10% entry fee. So going back to the point about disrespect, she said the only offers that were countered were ones that were at 10%. Everything else was lower and the owner didn't even consider it. So I think from the sounds of it, like ideally they'd like to be at 20, but I think, 15, we've probably got a solid chance. It's just kind of getting the barrier to come down to get the expenses.
Yeah. I missed the part. Is the median price like $1 million in Nashville? How did you get such a high price?
Like I didn't use the median factor. I was going off of the buy box that I had. So the buy
Oh,
box
got it. Okay.
was
Someone,
looking between
okay.
1 and 4 million. And when I looked it up on PropStream, the property value, like unfurnished without everything, I got 1.6. So it's not like that far off. But Nashville is definitely crazy expensive. One of the other properties she sent me, I don't know how anyone would do it because it's 2.9 million and it needs a lot of work. So
Unless they have those like fancy flippers,
Yeah.
that have a ton of cash to work with.
yeah.
So yeah. Anthony says it's way too high. You need to focus on cheaper properties. Yeah. The numbers are hard over $1 million. Anthony, he says he has somebody that's buying this. So he has one person that's buying this, but that's also why we tell you guys to go for median, because you do all of this work for one person and they're like, I don't want this. And you're like, well, now I'm not going to have anyone else. No
Yeah.
one else is buying creative at 1 point something million. I'm not saying nobody is. It's just,
Yeah.
it's your buyer pool is
Shrinking. Yeah.
is shrinking. Yeah. So this kind of goes into the business buying aspect that Pace is teaching sub 2 about right now. You do not, any business that you buy, you want a profit and loss statement. You want to know where's their money going. So like Jen said, even if it's net,
It doesn't,
like,
yeah.
it doesn't mean anything. Are you mismanaging your money? Like, where can I improve? The management, like, oh my God, you're paying your property manager a gajillion dollars a day. Like, like we need to see what those are. So I would not go any further with her and be like, what you wrote was amazing. Perfect. Like historically, this is what we make our offer off of. I would just be like, again, we make our offer off this. If they are interested, we're happy to sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, which that is completely normal for people to sign. You just have to also have them send it to Jen and I because we're your partners. So we're going to help you analyze the deal. So we just need to be like, our team can look at it. So,
yeah, I was thinking of copying you guys like in my reply, asking for that. That way, if she can send it over, then everyone has it.
Yeah. And it's all, did you find out why they're selling such a great profit cash
So
flow?
an owner or investor is out of state, and she just said that they have a lot of other projects going on. Kind of ready to get rid of it. And that's why they want to do seller finance, because they're not necessarily looking to do a 1031 exchange into another property.
And for those of you, does anybody here, and I don't expect you to know, do you guys know what a 1031 is? Tax code for the United States says you have to pay a certain amount, as most of you guys do. For those of you who don't, when you sell a house, you tell the government, this is what I sold my house for. And the government's like, great, let me take taxes on that. And it's going to be a big fat chunk of money because you're going to make a big fat chunk of money. So 1031 exchange is like a tax loop. I don't know. It's a loophole. It's like you buy it. And then instead of paying taxes, you kick the can down the road. So when you sell it again, you'll pay that back. So it's tax deferral. Yeah. On like kind real estate. So if I sell a duplex and I want the next house I buy, it has to go to a third party that is managing the money. It's not me, an attorney. And then I go buy it. I can't go buy like a motorhome or a single family because I have to go in like kind or more. So it has to be a duplex, fourplex, quadplex, whatever, up more than 2 doors. So that's what a 1031 is. So, and a lot of times they'll be like, oh, I don't want to do creative because I don't want to pay taxes. which is another thing that we can overcome. Can you do a 1031 along with the exchange? So this is getting into creative finance, and we're sticking to real estate basics. If you guys get a deal and they say, I want a sub 2, but a 1031 exchange, bring it to us and we'll teach you all about that with a real deal. But we're trying to keep back to basics for people that are just learning on this. So great job, Grant. I would go back and be like, we'll sign an NDA, but we're not giving you an offer without profit and loss statement.
Yeah, nope, that's fair. Just figured I saw Airbnb questions and I'm like, listen, I did this for my first deal and now I'm kind of regretting it because, I mean, she's been great. She sent me 2 other properties, but it's, yeah, it's definitely been a little chaotic.
But you're learning.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
Chaos is good when you're learning.
I don't want the first
it's
agent
with you.
I don't want her to hang up.
I can't believe she yelled at you though.
I think it was just frustration. I think it was frustration just because like they've had over 3 dozen offers. And you know, it's like, okay, like, you know, that's why very clearly I made sure the intention was set that like, hey, I want to make sure you get paid, but you know, it's a gorgeous property. And I'm like, man, if I like, this is a dream property that I want someday. So like, if I can wholesale this, then I can have something like this one day. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous property. No, we have pictures, Jordan, because it's on market. So it's a great location.
Well, thank you, Grant. Thank you for coming up. So that's just to show you, Grant has been here. He's learned how we're finding markets, how to comp deals. That's another thing we've gone through, how to talk to agents. And then we'll go through on these, and people that are taking action will go through and we'll talk about how they found it, why it was a good deal, why they chose that market, and it will help you guys. And then the hope is that you guys come back and you guys do this homework and you raise your hand just like Grant did and Brandy's doing and Scott is doing, and we have you call the agents and everybody can learn with you. I know it's scary, but you grow outside of your comfort zone. So, Brandy, what is up?
Hi. Sorry, I had to lift this up. There we go. I found one, and it turns out it's a new build, but it's been on the market for 118 days. Him and his business partner are going their separate ways. They are open to creative as well, like seller financing or creative, depends on what the terms are. So now what do I do?
Nice work.
Creative or seller's financing, I know, but the rest.
That's why we're here. You guys, we want you guys to be like Brandy, get yourself into enough trouble where you're like, all right, now what? So very nice work. So the next thing you need to do, you can submit it through our thing and then we'll help you. We'll have it in our CRM and what we do is we help you. The next thing you'll do is be like, okay, what are the financials on this? Like, do you have a loan out on this?
No,
do you own it outright?
They don't have any mortgage on it.
Nice. Okay.
And talking to him, he's also the builder. And I'm guessing he's the agent because he told me, and the house right beside will be for sale. It's just not ready yet. But they bought this lot hoping to put 3 houses on, but the one is more of an alley road, so they couldn't, so they have 2. And so he was saying there's a few other things they have to get, like just minor things that need to be finished on it, but they're going their separate ways. So he's like they really want to sell the house. So
okay, let's start. I love this. So that's their motivation. What's the motivation, you guys? What is the motivation? What made you call them? What made you stop? What market is it in?
It's in Texas.
Okay, so we know that's a hot market. 2, what made you call? What did you think were the motivation factors?
It's been on for 118 days.
Yep. And then so she calls and she finds out more motivation, which is what? They're going their separate ways. So we want to find the pain and we want to help. We're problem solvers. I always say we want to be option D, not option A. So option A is they've gone through the market. And it sounds like he's open to seller finance or something. So at this point, Brandy would like throw it in the CRM. And what we do, we work with Brandy on creating an LOI, which is a letter of intent, which is like a formal offer. And we have this, we show her how to underwrite it, which means, okay, well, if we offer $200,000 at 2.8% interest for 30 years, like what's the payment? What's the interest they're going to get? Let me show you guys if I have one up that we did today with Dina. So let me share my screen. So then when you guys submit it to us, we can help you do stuff like this. So this is a little calculator that we have. So the purchase price here is $645,000. Here's our down payment, which also includes this agent's fee. We have it. So the loan amount will be for $620,000 at 2.575%. And the monthly payments $2473.99. And then, so we underwrite this and I'm like, okay, what can it rent for? What can we offer? We look at all this stuff. And then we send this to them with an LOI, which is a letter of intent, and say, this is, we'll do it at your price. We'll give you this much down. We're going to pay for your commission, realtor. We're going to pay for the closing costs. You're going to seller finance this at $620,000 at this interest rate over 30 years. I'm going to give you guys $24,000 a month. And by the end of it, you're going to have $270,638 or $270,638 in interest on top of your $645 that I bought it for. So a grand total of, if you seller finance it to me over 30 years, you'll get close to $1 million. So then we write the letter of intent. We go back and forth and we'll see like, what can we offer? Does this make sense? Can we sell it for this? So
there's a lot of rentals around there. A lot of rentals.
Yep. So thank you. So submit in there and we'll work with you. We get a Slack channel for each deal. And then we work with you guys on underwriting it and like finding the rentals and the comps and writing the letter of intent and getting all this stuff out there. And we get on the phone with you and that's the idea is you guys find the deal. We help you close it. We'll get it sold to another student or wholesale it. And you guys can make money while you learn.
Yay.
So this is why you guys, this whole thing is free, you guys. Like nobody's paying for this. And if you're paying for this, I want to know who's getting the money. So that's your homework. Does that make sense for all you new people, how we run these and how we're doing, how we do homework and how you guys make money?
And someone was just asking, I've just been putting in the chat, the elephant.aurorainvest.com, that will take you to a lead submission form. And that's where you submit it. And then it comes into our CRM. And then we work back and forth with you to, get more information out of the agent, call the agents as a follow-up, all that sort of stuff.
Yes. And give us, I don't remember when I said this, if it was on this call or not, but give us information like we're 5. Like, imagine a 5-year-old being like, but why? But why? But how? But why? Because it moves your lead along a lot faster. So for those of you that missed, you have to talk to the agent or the seller first and know that they are good with open to creative. If they're like, no, they're not open to creative, but I want you guys to talk to them anyways, don't submit a lead. That's your guys' job, is to nurture that lead, build a relationship, follow up. We'll tell you on how to do it. We'll work with you guys on this. So let's not promote other stuff, because right now that's another thing, you guys. Elephant Challenge leaders. If you want to be an Elephant Challenge leader, Jordan, come talk to me. But we can't on these elephant Zooms. We have strict rules that each leader is following, and we make sure each baby elephant is paid the same way with each leader. And they have to go through a vetting process and be on top of everything, just so it's completely fair for baby elephants. So baby elephants. We will delete any Calendlys or Zoom links that are not promoted by somebody that's been vetted by us. Of course, you guys can be it. You just have to be a sub 2 student and do a couple other things and be consistent. But we had one guy, turned out to be a scammer, and they're like, yeah, I'm a sub 2 student. Just pay me $3,000. And people didn't know what they don't know. So I'm not saying I'm not saying you are, Jordan. I know you're trying to help. Jordan I'm just telling you, I know you're trying to help. If you want to be a leader, come talk to me and we can get your links promoted. But you guys be very careful on what Zooms you join, and make sure they are in the accountability group. So I know you're trying to help. It's all good. So anyways, nice work, Brandy. So put it in there and I'll follow up with you and we'll get another
awesome.
today.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, what we do is we'll comp it with you. We'll see the rental. We'll put out an offer. I'll have you send it, write out the LOI. We're going to hold your hand the whole way. We create a Slack channel where we can communicate on this with the realtor and everything. And we hold your hand and we are completely transparent through the whole way. So you guys can learn creative if you want to. Just bring us a deal.
Yay. I'm
Nice work,
excited.
Nikki. Thank
Thank
you.
you. You're
And
welcome.
we're going to start. I don't know when we're going to start, but we're going to have action takers Zoom. So we'll probably go over the LOIs and the underwriting and the next step, because these newbie Zooms, we want to keep to the basics.
Newbies,
So
yeah.
many people are in here.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
We don't want to go too in depth. Okay. All right. Scott, what's up?
Hello again.
Hello.
I've had a blast. It's been fun doing this. But I wanted to throw something out at you guys. It's really weird. Normally you find your lead, I'd say your property, and then you start calling the your realtors. Well, I wound up reaching out, or not reaching out. I was looking at something online, and a realtor reached back out to me and said, "Oh, you're looking for a place or looking for homes in your area." And I thought, you know, I'm not really, but I am. But I said, let's talk. Let me just talk to her.
Nice.
Well, trying to explain everything. Well, she came up to me and actually just started spitting off properties to me, see if it was of interest. So I thought, this is great. But it's 2 duplexes close by to where I live. And I'm wanting to see, I got to talking with them, or with her, with the actual realtor. The owner, it was passed down from her dad. She owes nothing on them, but they're all 4 rented. She said pretty much low rental, very little upkeep that needs to be done right now, other than an issue on a back deck that needs to be probably repaired or replaced. They've had somebody that has presented seller financing. And she said that she wasn't interested, only because she's looking to take the money and put it into another business. But she's got other rentals as well. But this is just, these 2 are the ones she's wanting to get rid of. Is there anything else creative wise that we could possibly look at besides true seller finance if she owns it outright?
How much she wants all the cash right now?
That's my assumption that's what she's looking for. Maybe not. It may not be. And I'll tell you, both of them are being sold at, they're $170,000 a piece.
Okay.
It'd be for 4 doors for what's that, $340?
And what's the condition?
She said they're in great condition. She did send me pictures, and she actually sent me the statements for the last year of what was how it was. I'll be glad to, if you want to see pictures real quick. I've shot them to my email real fast to see if you want to.
I think we'll be good. But so let's go to her first, because
Okay.
I trust you if they're good. I was just curious, like.
Yeah, she tells me they're good, but they can only get into one of them. I say one lady will allow them to take pictures and everything, and that's what she's got. She said.
And has she put it on the market yet, or are you?
It is on the market. It's been on the market for 64 days.
Okay,
I've
good.
looked it up, so it has been on the market.
Okay, so the market's telling her no thank you right now, at least for 64 days.
Uh-huh.
So here, we can get them an all cash offer, but it's going to be like pennies. It's going to be not her asking price.
Right. And the
Well-
not being able to look at comps on this, that's what's so bad. There's nothing around.
So that's another thing. If there's no comps, that's also why that's another reason why we tell you guys to go to hot markets, because there's comps and you
Right.
can comp it. Pace and
think
Laura,
Darius
I would say there's no, it's not a deal if there's no comps,
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
which that's a very strict rule.
Yep.
Unless you know the area well, you know what I mean? Like if you're like, well, I think it's fair, and yeah, you have a buyer.
There's more houses around this. I mean, it's surrounded by houses, but with these being duplexes, it's kind of, that's what's so hard to,
It is tough.
so. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Just, like I said, I just wanted to
Nice.
pass by and see if it's something that would be worth being able to do something, another creative way.
And I want to talk about, so what he did is he's just talking to people. All this is just relationships.
Mhm.
And he's just talking, and he's like, all right, let's show me what you got. Like, it does not hurt to build a good relationship with a real estate agent, because they might have pocket listings, they might know something. So I would just go back to her and be like, maybe be like, I can give you a price, I can offer you cash, but it's gonna be pretty low. Are you,
Which should be,
and I can give you your price if you want to talk terms.
right.
Maybe you can get your money out of another property, but just be like, I want to be really respectful of your time and shoot you straight.
Okay.
I'm not here to pull the wool over your eyes. Like, I can do cash, but I don't think you're going to like my price.
Right. Okay. And that's fine. That's kind of what I thought, but I thought,
Yeah.
well, just throw this out just in case if there's something.
Yeah. I'm proud of it. Good job.
Thank you.
Nice work. Thank you. Yeah. Come back and let us know on Monday.
Okay.
How it goes. All right. Robbie, what's up? Oh, here, let's ask you to unmute again. There you go.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, perfect. Hi, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Robbie. New to all this, baby elephant, all that good stuff. My question would be, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background why I'm asking this question. So for the last 15 years, roughly, I've been an EMT. Not only the training is great, but the biggest thing I feel throughout the years I've learned is knowing the appropriate questions to ask. And that's why I mentioned in my comment, what questions are pertinent to ask these agents. And besides the 4 pillars that would be beneficial to me talking to these agents and kind of getting this information to lead up to the creative financing.
So you want the information that you asked to get up to there, like the rapport that you build?
Yeah, so you call them, say you call them. I've called a couple people. They give me the details of the house, how it looks, what's going on, condition, everything. What other questions besides besides asking you, would they be open to creative financing or stuff in regards of that?
Yeah.
Just trying to get to those questions that is pertinent to get those for that information, not only for the property, but also to submit those leads to you guys.
Yes, that's a good question. So, and if you guys want, what time do we have to go? I can't even remember. I can call an agent too if you guys want to hear something. I did an agent call. It was actually really good, but I knew she understood creative. I talked to her. But so do you just talk like you're talking to a person. You want to build rapport. We want to be a friend instead of being like, hi, I'm Carly. Tell me about your house. But you ask just like be open and relaxed and just be like, hey, I'm interested in this house on Meadowbrook. Can you tell me about it? And then they're going to open-ended questions. Oh, really? That's great. Do you guys have any offers? A lot of times I like to say at the very beginning, establish the relationship, because agents like to know how to talk to you. Are they talking to you as a potential person that they might represent on this if you're unrepresented, or if you are represented? You guys are all representing yourselves because we can represent you. So just so you guys know, the agent's going to ask if they can, sign a listing agreement with them, and they're going to want to know if you're represented. They'll want to know how to talk to you. So I'm like, hey, my name's Carly. I buy and sell real estate all day long. So I can represent myself. Just want to establish that. Can you tell me about this house? I like to stay away from the word investor because a lot of realtors are like, they're going to lowball me. They're going to go around me. It's just a bad word. It's just, it puts the guard up, and we want to put the guards down. So I buy and sell real estate all day long. Like we do this my husband and I do this for a living. And they're going to be like, are you licensed? And I'm like, well, I'm not licensed by the state, but I do my own real estate transactions. So they like to know. So then you're like, tell me about it. Open-ended questions. And then be like, oh, okay. I see it's been on market for 8 gajillion years. Tell me, do you guys have any offers? How have the offers gone? Have they gone through? So just kind of like very open-ended, not yes, no questions. So you want to take them down the journey of like, why are they selling? And you want to take them down the journey, and you want them to tell you, you can see that it's been on market for 106 days. Be like, you guys gotten any offers? Oh, I noticed that you've done a couple of price drops, so you take them down the journey of their pain, and you're like, I get it. Like, it's been on market for 106 days. You've dropped it $100,000 over the last 3 months. What are their motivations? Do they have, all this stuff. So you're like, and then you come in and you're like, I can solve this problem. We're problem solvers. And we say, listen, I think my partners and I can make you an offer. We will not lowball you on price. We'll give you the price that you ask for. We will offer to pay your commission, and we will offer to pay closing costs if they will give us terms. And then that's a really good way to say it. So you give them value. They feel like you say, I'm paying you. I am paying you out of my pocket. So and I was like, to sweeten the deal, if they'll give us terms, we'll pay for you. We'll pay for their closing cost. That saves. So typically, this is a really rough estimate. It varies by state. But if you find out what 8% of the closing cost is, that's what the seller has to pay to sell their house. For 2 realtors, closing costs, like blah, 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 all this. So you can be like, I can save your sellers $80,000 and I'll buy it. And then they're going to be like, what are terms? I don't know. Like what? And be like, well, let me before we go there, let me know if they're interested in something along the lines, say seller finance, because every agent knows what seller finance is.
Okay.
We're not going to go down the sub-2 route or wraps because people say no to things they don't understand.
Okay.
And agents understand seller finance. And then be like, do you know if they're open to that? And then they'll be like, I don't know. And be like, hey, well, if you can find out, and you can find out a little bit more information, I need a little more information to give an offer, or come back and let's continue this conversation. I'll bring my partners in here that are really good at they're way better at explaining this than me. And we can kind of talk terms from there, but let me know if they're interested. And then they're going to be like, you just get them being like, I want to hear more. I'm not committing to anything. Or if they're like, yeah, I want to, and I know what sub-2 is, like Brandon did. He's like, great, get me the mortgage statement. Like, if you want to go one step further and they want to give you information, be like, I need the mortgage statement. I need their interest, their financials. Do they own it outright? Is there a note? So does that kind of answer your question?
It gives me some information that I'm looking for. Yes. I'm always going to have more questions just because it's a constant learning, which is great. And that's what I still do to this day as an EMT. Everybody's situation is different, but if you have a strong foundation in terms of what questions to go to initially, then you can lead off of those questions. And that's why I'm asking these questions, or trying to get a little bit of information.
Perfect. And this is what we do. And if you want to give it a call, give it a try. Some people will call on here. If you don't, I get that too. I can make calls But that's what we guys want you guys to do. If you can at least find something with motivation, and even if you don't call them, bring the thing here and we'll call and we'll go through it with you and we'll role play and then we'll do it and we'll all be quiet and we'll listen and we'll be like, that was great. This is what you did great. This is awesome. Next time you could go down this road, because it's so subjective. There's not a road that you take down every single time. And then everybody gets to learn. Would everybody like to do that? Learn how to talk to agents?
First, what about sellers, like homeowners themselves? How's that different in terms of conversation?
So it's different. That's a good question. So it depends what the seller is. Are they pre-foreclosure? Are they for sale by owners? Like, it's just like, you have to know the avatar of the people. For sale by owners have the, hold on. Pace is texting me. Different people have, like, so for sale by owners, a lot of people, I know a lot of agents like to go, they're notoriously unrealistic and a pain in the ass, to be honest. Go for it. They're great practice. They are fantastic practice to talk to sellers. Go call all the FSBOs, the for sale by owners, on there if you want to practice.
Okay.
So it depends who you're talking to. So then you're going to also talk to a pre-foreclosure different. So pre-foreclosure people are not paying their bills. Every bill collector is calling them. Everybody is going after them and being like, sell me your house. So with these people, you're like, listen, I just want to, my friend has been through this. I get it. You're in a shitty place. We're a friend. We're not, like, even if you don't sell to me, if you guys have you heard Pace talk about Find the Bunny stories?
Correct. Yes.
Find the bunnies. So Pace, this lady's like, listen, I'm not selling to you, Pace. You want too little. And he's like, that's fine. That's fine. Like, she wasn't in pain. Like, she wasn't behind, but he's just like, he's like, but can I help you with something for free? And then she's like, what? So you're just a friend. Like, I have a friend that is in this situation. I can help you get out. I can maybe even try to help you keep your house. Have you tried, like with a loan modification? So this is going to be a whole different thing, but it's just like, you talk to everybody different and like you meet them where they are. So for FSBOs, you're not just practice with them. They're a good practice. Yeah. And then we're friends, and we really genuinely, I'm not just saying this to make a sale. I'm being serious. Like, even if you don't make money on it, we'll be like, listen, I get, even if you don't sell to me, that's fine. Can I maybe help you with a loan mod, which is packing back what they owe on the end of their loan and helping them get caught up, and just, you're leading with value, not what can I take from you? Can I take your house? Can I take this? Can I take this? And that's a good lesson to remember in life when you want something from somebody ever. Lead with value. Give to them first before you say like, hey, Robbie, can you give me this? Maybe you're like, hey, Robbie, I hear that you're an EMT and you have really great experience, and I want to learn all about that. And I want to introduce you to this other guy that might help you with your career. And then you're like, oh, okay. So I lead you, or like, how can I help you? And then, or like, lead with gratitude. I thank you for being an EMT, and thank you for being a first responder. And then you're kind of like, let guards down and then be like, but I also want something from you. Can you help me with something? It's just so much easier to be like, then, hey, Robbie, will you do this for me? Hey, will you sell me your house?
Right. And that would be like basically back to the agent aspect. Basically, after introduction, saying you probably got multiple phone calls about the seller financing. I just wondering, see if there's something we can do a little bit different than what you've been offered before.
Yes, you killed it. You killed it. So like, we set you apart. We want to help. Like, even if you don't sell to me, what is there, like. And with agents, you want to lower their guard down. Like, I'm paying you. I'm going to pay you. I'm on your team. Investor puts the guard up. I'm a local. So you're like, so build rapport. Just be like, hey, we're bros. We're homies.
Okay.
And
Understood.
you're just a real person with them. And And be like, I'm going to be transparent with you. I don't want to waste your time. That's like also a giving thing, being like, I'm very self-aware here. If this is, I don't want to waste your time. I'm not going to beat around the bullshit bush. Like, you obviously can say that more professionally, but
Right.
you're respectful, and you're respectful of their time is a good thing too.
Okay.
I think you would be amazing. Will you come back on Monday and do an agent call for us?
Yeah, I'll do it. Oh, actually, I won't be able to do that Monday because I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, shoot. Next Friday.
The next Friday, most definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
Robbie, we'll see you next Friday. Thank you for
Okay.
coming.
Yeah, thank you for doing this for us.
Yes, you are welcome. Thank you for coming and raising your hand.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Nidia, did I say your name right? Are you there? Maybe she went away. Let's go to Dustin next.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
Great. So, my question is, I got Privy, but I'm wondering, where do I need to start? Or what are the criteria? What am I looking for on there?
Let's start there. So this is a tough situation because everybody, and I'm glad you asked this, these are kind of tough to lead because we're like, you guys are all new coming in, and then we have old people. So it's good reminder. It's good. We like to go back to basics. Like, where do I start? So Jen's taking notes as we're going. And we're going to post it. So the first thing you do is you want to find your market.
Yes.
You want to go to places where people are moving to. Look at the Census Bureau, look at the migration patterns. I can tell you it's like Texas, Florida, the Carolinas, that whole like Sun Belt down there. Blue states, stay away from. I'm not being a political statement on this. They're harder to do business in. There's more hoops to jump through. So that's how you pick a market. Red states are more landlord friendly and less taxes to pay for the cost of doing business. So you get your market and then you find motivation. We kind of went over it at the beginning of this call. So you'll look for the median home price, and then Google that, and then go into Redfin or wherever and search for like high days on market, 90 days over.
90 days over.
Within the median price range, because 90 days over is some pain.
Right.
The market has told them no thank you for 90 days.
Right. Okay.
No thank you for your house and your price and all of the above.
Okay.
So, and we want that. We want them to get a lot of no's before they come to us. We want to be plan Z. We want them to go through the entire alphabet before they come to us.
So since I have Privy, is Redfin, is that different?
Oh
info?
yeah, that's good. I just use Redfin because I don't have Privy and I need to get it to show you guys how
Okay.
to do it. Privy's
Yeah,
good.
because Privy has, okay, so use the
Privy has that. Yes, use Privy.
90 days
It's better.
past. Okay.
And
And then-
Privy you can comp with too. I need to get Privy just to show you guys how to use it.
Yeah, and then Pace mentioned start in your own backyard. I'm not in the Sun Belt. I'm in Iowa. We are a red state. And I'm close to the
Hold on just a
city.
second. I'm gonna mute. Sorry. People are unmuting themselves. Hold on. You're gonna get muted for a second.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna unmute you because I gotta mute everyone. Okay, let me pull you back up. Okay. Is it letting
Got
you?
it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Sorry. I couldn't hear
My
you.
little guy's here too, so he might be making some noise in the background.
Oh, if it was him, that's fine. But I thought if it was somebody else, then.
It
he's-
might have been him, but you
Oh,
know,
I'm sorry. I thought it
No,
was
it's
somebody
okay.
else.
It's totally
He's
okay.
good.
So yeah, Pace mentioned that start in your own backyard, and I'm in Iowa. We're a red state. I moved to a small town, but I lived in the city for a long time. Des Moines is huge. This seems like quite a few deals. Ankeny is like big money compared to Des Moines, and I'm really locked in there. I know a lot of people go to church there and everything. So I was just kind of looking for like, what's the criteria? 90 days past, and then what?
Okay, so here's some good ones because I think you can search this 90 days on market. So there's high motivation.
Yep.
They bought within the last 2 to 3 years. So there's
Last
low
2.
interest rates on there, and they're probably have to bring cash to close because they have zero equity.
Okay.
And then on Privy, you can go and see their interests. You can comp them.
Yes.
And I'll clip the video on us showing how to comp. on
I've
Privy.
watched 3 videos on comping. I'm
See, you're
feeling pretty comfortable.
You're good. And did you watch them on Privy? I think Privy's the best way to comp.
No, I saw Laura and Pace both go through their comping strategy. So I feel
Okay.
pretty comfortable
You're
about
good.
comping.
Good. Okay. But did they show you on Privy? On the
Yeah.
thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, they did
so
it right on
Privy
there.
is the best for, it's so easy to comp on Privy. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're good on that. And then I would start there and then call, just call, make a conversation, what we just talked about.
Call the agent and just
Call the
see if
agent,
they're
be like-
open to seller financing.
Yeah. Build rapport first before you, it's like dating. You
Right,
can't
right.
like, hey, you want to make out, you know, you got to get there. You got to be like,
Right,
flirt a
right.
little bit. And then you got to be like, you want to go on a date, you know,
Right.
there's, you can go straight for the, like, hey, let's get married. We just met type situation. But it's a lot like, think of it like courting somebody. So you just want to build rapport, build trust.
Okay. Yeah. And the median's right around like 250 in Ankeny. And
Yes.
it's a little bit lower in Des Moines, but yeah, Ankeny is really, and there's tons of new houses all over. I mean, really nice new ones, all kinds of development. Ankeny is exploding. So,
Nice.
yeah, I'm definitely going to search there and then just contact agents, it sounds like, and build some rapport.
Yep. And bring it here, bring it to the Zooms. We'll help you call agents. We'll help you we'll go over like, okay, what did he find? How did he find it? Let's look at it together. Let's call the agent together and that's what we do on a lot of our calls.
Okay.
Dissect this. And then you guys come back and you raise your hands like everybody's raising their hands, like Randy did. And Grant and everybody else. So, and then we'll go through these things. And then as you guys are we see you taking action and raising your hand and coming up here and being consistent, we'll invite you guys to action taker Zooms where we get into we don't get into we go a little bit deeper because we got to keep these very basic because new people are coming in every single day. So we
Sure.
want to be like, okay, we're on step 50 and these new people are like, can we go over step 1?
Right.
So the Monday, Tuesday ones we might switch them around, but we'll have 2 days a week of like this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then as you take action and as you raise your hand, we'll be like, all right, come, you get it, come into, you get the next level and you've been
Okay.
consistent. So.
Okay,
Or-
yeah, I checked out some of the other ones and I felt like maybe this was a little more my speed was with you guys. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely ready to get started and make some calls. I've been going crazy on Privy. At first I was looking for buyers and searching LLCs like all night long. And I was like, oh, maybe I better talk to Carly first and figure out
Yes.
where to
And-
start. But
And all of you guys that are like, this is your first meeting, you don't have to come to mine. Come and date. It's like dating. I feel like everything's like dating. Go to all the leader meetings and be like, who do I jive with? Who do I learn best from? What time is good for me? You know, and like find a leader that you guys kind of click with and you like, and you can come to theirs and then keep coming to theirs. We all pay baby elephants the same. We all are the same. So like, if you're like, well, maybe I can go over to Dawn's group and she'll pay me a little bit more for this. It's like, you're going to get paid. We're all even. We're all fair. We're all on the same team. There's no competition. Just all we do is ask is if another team leader pulls lists for you guys to call, don't find a deal and then take it to me because it's their list. So you want to take it back to them. But welcome. I'm glad you came.
yes.
And will you come back? Will you?
Yes.
Well, if you want to. We don't-
Yes, I will.
But after you've done this and you've learned, if you want to come back to this group, we'd love to have you. And then raise your hand and let us know how it goes because it's really fun to watch you guys. You know, with everybody to watch you guys go down the process. So
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
awesome! Thank you, Nicole. What's up?
Harley,
How are you, my Gator friend?
I'm good. It's good to finally meet you. I've
I
been seeing your
know.
name pop up everywhere. And
I
I'm like,
see
I gotta
you.
meet her.
I've
I
been
gotta
talking
meet
to
her.
you on the internet. I don't know. I never know what the real face looks like because I never go to the profiles, but I know who you are.
Right.
It's
Yes, that's
you.
what's up. It's our first date.
It is.
Well, listen, I wanted to pop in because this is my first time on these calls, and I'm
Welcome.
loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm all in. It's my new favorite group.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, and so I have a deal. I didn't know I was going to have homework, but look, I came ready. I got a deal. Let's talk about it.
You got a deal.
So yes, I was making calls. I joined on July 22nd.
Nice.
As a Gator. And I was just calling agents on Zillow and Redfin and everywhere. So I got a deal. I got 2 meetups for doing that. And I have a client because I'm a business consultant. So I help entrepreneurs put their business together from start to building credit, all that. Basically, a lot of what PCS does.
Mhm.
But so I have a client, and she was telling me that she wants to buy a property from a family member who inherited the property from her mother. All right. They have
Okay.
a second mortgage on the property, $50,000. They're willing to do sub 2.
Okay.
She needs to put 50,000 into it. By the way, it's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
She needs to put 50,000 into it, and after repair value, according to her, is 200,000. So everything looks great, except I'm not sure about that value. So I would need help with someone to show me what the heck, so
You need to
make sure it is a deal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I want to know, since she doesn't have a contract yet with her cousin, it's her cousin, and she doesn't have a written contract yet. So the seller wants $20,000 cash, right? So she wants to walk away with 20,000.
Okay.
And she is the executor of the estate, but she said she doesn't know if she actually did the probate. Is that necessary if she does sub 2, or how does that work?
So probate is if someone has passed away. Is there a will?
I don't know. Should I find out?
Find out. So probate is when somebody passes away that owns the house. And then if there's no will, they've got to go through the court system to be like, who's getting the house? Who
Right.
can sell the house? So like
Right,
the house
right.
is there, and like the person that owns the house passed away. We got to figure out who is the person that is legally able to sell this house or do whatever with it. So
Right.
find out if they're done with probate, if it's going into probate, if there's a will. And then I'm going to clip my comping thing tonight that Corey shared his screen, and we'll go over it on another one. And I want you to comp the property. We'll show you how.
Okay.
And tell me if you think it is correct on the ARV.
Right.
And you just practice it, and then I'll bring you up on Monday if you're here.
I'll be here. You can
And
count me in.
will I. But Anthony's right. Probate takes a long time and it can be very sticky. So if they if they're just starting probate, like be like, call me in a year. Like call me when this is done, when you've gotten out of this mess.
Right.
Then I can help you.
Yeah, she said she is the executor of the estate, but she's not sure if she actually went through the whole process for probate, like paid the tax and all that.
I know it gets weird. And
yeah, it is. That's the only little sticky part about it. And the fact that I'm not sure about the after repair value. I'm familiar with Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, but some areas, if you go too far to the left, you want to turn around, go back right.
And go back.
It's not a good area.
Yeah.
Look, turn around. So I just want to make sure that she's not in that crazy zone. And the value is legit, So, but I have another deal, but I'm not going to hold you too long. But I'm just jumping in.
I love it. So this is, you guys, be like Nicole. She is just getting herself. She's like, great, I got this. Now what? Like, this is what we want you guys to do. Like, we got the what's next. So submit it into here. And just so you guys know, I'm going to be completely transparent. When you submit it, you're basically signing a JV agreement with only this deal. So just once you submit it to one student, one leader, and this is with every leader. So once you've submitted it to one leader, you agree, like, I agree. I'm entering into a JV agreement with you with this deal.
What if we didn't know that before now, and if we signed something before?
It's okay. It's just that deal. It's not forever.
Okay.
It's not
Oh,
for life.
for a specific, okay, I
So
got
it's
you.
only for like, if your deal is 123 Main Street,
Right,
you're just like, okay, we're gonna JV together. 123 Main
yeah.
Street. And then
Once
if
you
you
plug
talk
that
to-
address in.
Yeah, you 126 Main Street, you'd be like, Carly sucked it, going to another.
Right,
later.
right, right.
So it's
Okay,
just for the-
got
it's
it,
Not,
got it.
Yeah.
I
and
like
then you
it.
guys get paid. You got to get paid on this. You earn while you learn. So get yourself in trouble like you did. Like not trouble, but
Yeah.
like, I got this. Now what?
You gotta read some of my posts, Carly, because I had a couple of situations and it was crazy. It was funny, but it was a great learning experience. All of them.
Is it for Gator?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go read
I
it.
put like 2 or 3 posts in there and different scenarios and what happened. And I learned a lot.
I love
Just
it.
jumping out there. Yeah.
Do that. So she's in Gator. And so she's putting that, but if you guys have stuff that you learn, throw it in. Like she's putting it in Gator. So there's other people that Gator can learn, but like deals, like throw it in the creative group, throw it in Elephant, because we all learn from everybody else's messes and mistakes. And like, oh God, did I learn that you do not do AB?
Right. What
So-
not to do.
What not to do. So
Right.
yes.
Thank you. I enjoyed being here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. I'm so excited you guys are all here. Jen, what time do we have to go? We have a podcast that we do. We're moving the podcast because we have to cut this short. It feels like half the time. Is she in here still? Did the podcast start? I don't even know. She's not in here anymore. It might be, hold on. I might have to go, but you guys can come watch the podcast. We talk about like mindset and stuff with successful real estate investors. Just a second. I know I've got to see if I gotta go. I don't know where I am. Okay, I have to go now. If you guys want, you can come watch the podcast. Don't feel like you have to though. Is it this one? Hold on just a second. Okay, apparently it started 26 minutes ago. Shit. See, we're moving our Zooms because our podcast goes right up behind it. And we go over and then I forget. So, okay. So I'm going to go over there. If you guys want, you can come back. You can watch. There is no requirements to watch. But you do have a requirement to do a homework. Please get yourself some leads, find your market, go ahead and do your own backyard if you want it, if you feel comfortable with your own backyard. Submit deals to us at elephant.aurora.invests.com. And come back and just get a list of deals. We'll call people, we'll go through talking to agents, we'll comp properties, we'll talk about why it's a good market and how you found things. We don't only want creative. We can do cash, but it's going to be cash at a low. We're going to wholesale it. So we're not 70%. Yes, Anthony. So we are, we can do cash, but we're not doing cash at our asking price. So we're going to wholesale it. We're going to make money, and you guys are all going to make money too. Everyone's going to make money from the deals that you guys find. So you guys have so many hands raised, and I appreciate you guys coming. Thank you for coming. Please come tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Don't come tomorrow because no one's going to be here tomorrow. I need you guys. It's a Friday for me. Come on Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So it's also in the Elephant Challenge group. I just noticed I didn't have Fridays on until today. So you guys will have there. But if you guys, all of you guys that have your hands raised, go into the Elephant Challenge chat with Jen and Carly and tag me and Jen in there and ask your question, and we will go through. We'll go through those questions. I'll answer them. Like I'll do a Loom, or I'll answer them with typing. Anthony wants to know, what do you get for bringing a deal? every baby elephant gets paid the same way. I'll drop that in there too. It is recorded and it's live streamed on Facebook. So then I put it through to, I'll just copy the live stream and I'll put the recording in there for you guys. So you guys can watch the replay. Thank you guys for coming. You all are phenomenal, all 77 of you. And I hope to see you guys come back. Okay, go ask your questions